It was just yesterday that Joe Biggs and myself returned from Ferguson, Missouri. Now, we had initially gone out there to document how the city had changed over the past year. The attitudes of people changing, the physical landscape of the situation changing as well. And we get out there, and Joe Biggs had been in contact with some Oath Keepers, people we've had on our show before, or a group we've had on our show before. And they said, hey, we're going to be out there just like you guys are. Would you guys like if we come and hang out with you and watch your backs? And we said, sure, because just a couple days prior to that, multiple journalists had been attacked and hospitalized. And that's not a knock on the people of Ferguson, Missouri. The majority of the people in Ferguson, Missouri are good, honest people, peaceful people, and they have no ill intentions towards us at all. But there is a violent minority, but that you need to defend yourself from. So with that in mind, they said, we'll be there, we'll watch your backs. We said, great. We get out there to the scene, and instantly the story became about us, about Infowars.com, about the Oath Keepers, because we had guys walking around watching our backs with long arms, which, hey, if somebody wants to walk around and protect me, I don't care what kind of gun they have. But that became the story of the day, which was somewhat surprising to me and to anybody who says, how can you not anticipate that being the story or being as big of a story as it was? I've been to a conservative 20 open carry marches here in the state of Texas, some large, some small. The largest one I went to, the Alamo, where Alex gave that speech, did not get half the amount of publicity as we got in Ferguson, Missouri, even though there were many more people out there with firearms. And the mainstream media decided to demonize us, also demonize the Oath Keepers for dare brandishing a firearm, or should I say carrying a firearm openly in the public, carrying a long rifle. But the issue people forget is last year there were two cases that I know of people open carrying in this city of Ferguson, Missouri. One in front of Sam's Meat Market, another one in front of a tattoo parlor, where people open carried their guns. As far as I know, they didn't shoot anybody. And also, as far as I know, the people who open carried in those situations were not arrested. But when we had people open carrying to watch our backs, they said they were hate mongers, race baiters, Klan members, all type of derogatory things. And then you had the local CBS affiliate come out and say that we were paying these guys. And the reason I realized they were pushing this so hard that we paid them, because if we had paid them, there would have been some technicality where they could have shut the guys down. Because the police officers know, and they will tell you to your face, that open carry is not illegal in the city of Ferguson, Missouri. So they were scrambling around, searching, dusting off old law books, trying to find some reason to shut the guys down. And the second night, we decided amongst ourselves that the open carriers or the Oath Keepers would carry a smaller pistol, and one guy had a shotgun. They so graciously worked with us to do that. I'm talking about the Oath Keepers, not the police, because we didn't need their permission to do anything. But we said we'd work with you guys and try to work it out when we were talking to the police chief right when we got there the second night. So we walk around after having a conversation with the police chief where he said that basically he has lawyers to interpret the law for him, and he didn't want to discuss about any law, even though they always use that excuse that not knowing the law is no excuse. When the Oath Keepers are telling the police officers the law, they don't really want to hear it. It's completely ridiculous and blown out of proportion. And once again, finally, I'd like to give a very big thank you from myself and also Joe Biggs to the Oath Keepers who are watching our backs out there. So here is just a small selection of all the things that we experienced in Ferguson, Missouri, from talking to the police chief to talking to various people in the crowd. You can go watch all those videos on YouTube and see it wasn't people running in fear for their lives. It was people who actually came up to us and dialogued with us and realized these guys aren't so bad and were actually not just protecting us, but the community as well.
Joe Biggs here with Infowars.com. Now tonight we're set up out here on West Florissant Avenue in Ferguson, Missouri, yet again, day two. And last night we came out, we had the Oath Keepers with us, and woke up this morning and turns out it's one of the largest news stories in the country and maybe globally as well. And there's a lot of misunderstandings. So that's what we're here to talk about. Some of the misunderstandings of why we're doing this, why we have you guys out here, and what it is you stand for, what the organization's all about, just so some people can kind of have that information. So when they watch this video, they can go, okay, that's what's going on. And then have to continuously read these, BS tweets, and they just believe lies. So tell us your name and tell us, why you're out here with us.
My name is Sam Andrews, and we put together a team of guys to watch Joe Big and Jakari's back while they walked the streets and did their job. We had some reporters hurt on Sunday night. 2 reporters were attacked and put in the hospital. And we've known Joe for a few months. We've known Jakari for a little while, and we just felt like we wouldn't be comfortable with them out here by themselves, and we offered to help, and they said, okay, come on, walk with us, watch our backs.
But you know, today we see this whole story that we hired you guys, and then it goes in this whole legal situation as to whether or not that means you're actual security and all this stuff. So that was a thing. You guys volunteered your help, just like you have with a lot of the other small businesses in the area, to help keep them safe so they can continue to operate and help contribute to the Ferguson community.
Well, we weren't just guarding businesses like a dentist shop and restaurants and Natalie's Cakes and more. We were guarding people in the apartments above those businesses, and that's something the media just doesn't ever seem to mention, which is the truth. We put the majority of our men guarding people that were sleeping at night in buildings that had been attacked, and people had attempted to try and burn them out and murder them by arson. And that's something the media just doesn't seem to want to talk about when it's in reference to the Oath Keepers. But the bottom line is, we come out here and we find we have an unlawful St. Louis County chief that wants to violate our laws, says he doesn't care about 44.101, a Missouri revised statute that says police officers may not confiscate guns from citizens in time of emergency.
Let me ask you this, and I'm not doing this as a threat, I'm just asking.
No, we're listening.
Do you guys got a security license?
We don't need one.
Yeah, you actually do.
It's,
That's all if we hire them.
it's actually
No, it's
if we're
not.
for hire.
I just
That's
got a
how the
legal
ordinance
opinion on that
reads.
today.
Hey Chief, are you familiar with 44.101,
I'm not an
Missouri
attorney.
revised
That's
statute?
why I have attorneys, okay?
My attorney, Matt.
And I'm not arguing with you, okay?
No, we're
I'm just
listening.
telling you, I have attorneys, I didn't go to law school.
And this is the problem. We have police leadership, not the guys on the street doing the job, but we have leadership that doesn't care about our laws. We pay them to enforce our laws, and yet they thumb their nose at our laws and do whatever they want. And we're sick and tired of this kind of criminal behavior from the top cop in St. Louis County. Belmer needs to resign or respect our state laws. And he just refuses to do it. And he thumbs his nose at it with an arrogance that is really remarkable.
Now, earlier tonight, we had someone approach, kind of seemed upset about the fact that you guys had weapons, and then all of a sudden it de-escalated. Why that happened?
Well, we talked to him and we said, you know, we care about you, and we hope that someday you'll carry a weapon to defend yourself, because your life matters. It's just as valuable as ours. And, you know, our dream, our wish is for everybody to be able to defend themselves. If the police had done their job and defended the people of Ferguson, we wouldn't be here. But we are here because they didn't do their job, and we had to do some of it for them as much as we could. And so many people here don't even realize that they have the right to carry a firearm in the state of Missouri and protect their life, their liberty, and their property. And it's amazing how many people believe if they're seen with a gun that they'll be arrested by St. Louis County Police. I think there ought to be a federal investigation of that phenomenon.
All right, so there you have it. Once again, we're out here day 2 on West Florissant Avenue in Ferguson, Missouri. Stay tuned for more reports at Infowars.com. How you doing, sir?
What's your name?
Joe Biggs.
We were over here last week.
How you doing? Joe Biggs.
Ken
Nice to meet you. How you doing, sir? Joe Biggs, Infowars.com.
Yeah, probably saw me on the media talking trash about you.
How you doing? What's your name?
Sam Andrews.
Hi, Sam.
You spoke to my lawyer last
Cameron,
Thanksgiving.
Chief.
It's good to see you, buddy. Hey, listen, if you guys are here, obviously, and have CCWs, I don't have any problem with that.
We all do.
My only problem is the long guns and inciting these guys out here. I don't need the headache. I've been doing this for the last year. So I think last November we talked about CCWs are fine. What do you guys, what's your goal here? What's your mission?
Protect these 2 men. Because we had a reporter beat up a couple nights ago.
I know that. We had a New York
Time.
Times reporter and a Post-Dispatch reporter that was roughed up a few nights ago. Let me ask you this, and I'm not doing this as a threat, I'm just asking.
No, we're listening.
Do you guys got a security license?
We don't need one.
Yeah, you actually do.
It's,
That's all if we hire them.
it's
No,
actually
it's
if
not.
we're for hire.
I just
That's
got a
how the
legal
ordinance
opinion on that
reads.
today.
Hey Chief, are you familiar with 44.101,
I'm not an
Missouri
attorney.
revised
That's why I
statute?
have attorneys, okay?
My attorney, Matt.
And I'm not arguing with you, okay?
No, we're
I'm just
listening.
telling you, I have attorneys. I didn't go to law school. So you guys may be attorneys, I don't know, okay? But I reached out to the attorney today and I asked him about this because I needed an opinion on it. And he said employ doesn't necessarily mean pay, it means employ, like you would employ a tool or
Like a synonym for the word deploy.
That's exactly it. Okay.
Well, would you do your favor? Will you ask your attorney to review 44.101?
I will continue to ask him to make sure that he looks into this.
Because apparently he's missed that law. And
But
that was signed into law by the
my
governor
goal,
in 2007.
okay? I get where you guys are coming from. I get what you stand for. I agree probably with most of it, okay? But what I can't have here is any sort of a problem to where I have officers out here for several nights. I get kicked in the rear end over this deal, etc. It just causes headaches. Gentlemen, all I'm trying to do is manage this thing. You please need to understand that.
No, we do. We
I'm not going to be
understand.
I'm not trying to go down here and mess
But
with
last
people.
night that happened. Okay?
Well, no, what we did is we walked around, and that's some of the word on the street was, but if you actually looked at a lot of the video, a lot of people came over, we opened up dialogue, we talked about Second Amendment, we talked
I
about
get
all
it.
kinds of stuff.
I understand
People
it.
came up, hugged these guys, shook their hands because
We have a
they've
lot of
seen
friends
their,
here. I grew up here.
I'm sure you do.
built some rapport with,
And I grew up just north of here too. So, Costello, Quincy Ford, the old North, Turner's Gym up here. I mean, I get it. So I understand where I am too. But more than anything else, this community is going to have a chance to get back to where it needs to be, as every community would want that for. And there is a lot of good people down there. You guys saw them last night, and what you're saying is true.
Yeah.
And I just want to be out there for these guys, and I certainly want to be out there for my police officers out here. So, you know, we don't have to just continue this night after night. You guys continue to do exactly what I see you doing right now. I have zero problem with it, okay? What I don't want to have to see is slung exterior weapons. So, again, we can debate all we want to.
No. We
about
toned it
whatever.
down
is what it
tonight.
is,
We
Chief.
toned it down tonight,
I know you
trying
have,
to respect what you had to
and I
say.
appreciate that. I really do.
But we'd like you to respect the state law. If you don't like it, have the legislators change it.
Again, I have attorneys, you have attorneys, I can deal with that later, okay?
It's an open carry state.
our attorney,
You know, and the law, when there's an emergency declared, state law prohibits any government official from confiscating firearm or
Well, an emergency
ammunition
has
from a
not been
citizen.
declared, an executive order has been declared. And there's a difference there, okay? So,
That's what your
Gu-
county executive said on the news yesterday.
well, it's an executive order, I have a copy of it. But regardless, you guys are fine right now. I just don't want anything salacious or provocative to just churn this
Certainly.
up any more than it is,
We don't
okay?
want to do that. We're not here for
And
that.
that's exactly where I am, so that's why I wanted to come over and talk to you guys about it.
We
so you knew
appreciate
where
that.
I was,
You
okay?
betcha.
And I appreciate what you guys have done in service of our country. You know that.
We thank you for that.
Okay?
Chief?
God bless you guys.
And you.
Thank you.
You be safe, okay?
Thank you.
Take care. Good seeing you, Sam. You be safe, okay? How you doing?
Another major health threat, this one in Toledo, Ohio, where everybody in the entire city has been told not to drink the water.
Ohio's governor declaring a state of emergency.
Did you know that the average person uses about 80 to 100 gallons of water at home every single day? If there's a water emergency, will you be prepared?
Panicked residents forming long lines throughout the day.
We're here at a supermarket in Toledo. You can see the shelves empty where water once was.
To stay safe and healthy during a crisis, you must have access to safe, clean water. Water which will not be available at your local grocery store.
There's a mad dash on right now to stock up on supplies.
The ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system is a must-have for every modern, independently minded household. Protect your family's safety during an emergency. Go to InfoWarsStore.com today to purchase your ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system or call 1-888-253-3139.
The story became about us, about Infowars.com, about the Oath Keepers, because we had guys walking around watching our backs with long arms, which, hey, if somebody wants to walk around and protect me, I don't care what kind of gun they have. But that became the story of the day, which was somewhat surprising to me and to anybody who says, how can you not anticipate that being the story or being as big of a It was just yesterday that Joe Biggs and myself returned from Ferguson, Missouri. Now, we had initially gone out there to document how the city had changed over the past year. The attitudes of people changing, the physical landscape of the situation changing the story as it was. I've been to a conservative 20 open carry marches here in the state of Texas, some large, some small. The largest one I went to, the Alamo, where Alex gave that speech, did not get half the amount of publicity as we got in Ferguson, Missouri, even though there were many more people out there with firearms, and the as well. And we get out there, and Joe Biggs had been in contact with some Oath Keepers, people we've had on our show before, or a group we've had on our show before, and they said, hey, we're going to be out there just like you guys are. Would you guys like if we come and hang out with you and watch your backs? And we said, sure, because just a couple days prior to that, multiple journalists have been attacked and hospitalized. And that's not a knock on the people of Ferguson, Missouri. The majority of the people in Ferguson, Missouri are good, honest people, peaceful people, and they have no ill intentions towards us at all, but there is a violent minority, but that you need to defend yourself from. So with that in mind, they said, we'll be there, we'll watch your backs. We said, great. We get out there to the scene, and instantly